Hey everyone, welcome into Off Air with Amy. I'm Amy Wood. We're so glad you're with us today. We're going to have a great show because I've got so many things planned, including something good where I go out in the streets and talk to you guys about what's happening in your world, and also something good happened to me. It involves Geoff Hart from Channel 4. If you remember, he was a longtime sports and news anchor, and something cool happened in the streets of Greenville. So I'm going to let you see what happened, and we'll talk about Geoff a little bit. But I also have really important information about the sheriff's race. A lot of people in Spartanburg County are wondering, how's this going to work? What's happening? And I've got the director on the hot mic of the elections who's going to tell us all about the details, including it costs $6,000 to register. Also, we've got a great situation in terms of the BMW Charity Pro-Am coming soon. Anthony Anderson and so many other stars are on the list of celebrities this year. And so we're going to see what's happening and also the volunteer power it takes. But let's begin with the hot mic. So today I've brought in the elections director. Spartanburg County is electing a new sheriff. I know many of you have a lot of questions about how that's going to work. So let's get to the elections director and the sheriff's race. Hey, everybody. We have John Baucom, who's with us with the Spartanburg County Elections Office. He's going to be running this special election for the sheriff of Spartanburg County. This is, John, not something that we see happen all the time, is it?
It is not. In Spartanburg, we've had exceptionally few partisan special elections, and in my nearly 20 years with this office, this is the first sheriff special election that we've held.
Unbelievable. So let's talk about this opportunity for people in the community to run. They have a period of time that opens up where they can declare their interest in running for office and officially sign up. How does that work? When does that begin?
Filing will open at noon on June 13th and close 8 days later at noon on June 21st. Candidates will need to come into our office to file. They'll fill out a statement of intention of candidacy, party pledge. They will need to complete a sheriff's affidavit and bring a filing fee check made out to the state political party of their choice.
How much does it cost to run?
We're still finalizing the filing fee, but it will be approximately $6,000 for the remainder of the term.
Oh, wow. All right. So that's a significant amount of money. So people, I guess, who are interested should start like raising money fast. Would that be the key to being able to do this? Because that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money, but we don't give campaign advice or management advice.
Right.
It is a significant sum, and
Yes.
Candidates will have to come up with that sum in order to file.
Okay. And then that filing period closes again?
Noon, June 21st.
Okay.
That is a Saturday. This office will be open on Saturday, June 21st from 8:30 a.m. until noon to accept filings.
And when it comes to how this works, right? Okay, we get a list of candidates, however many there may be. Have you had anybody calling? I mean, do you have a sense at all? Is this going to be a lot of candidates that we have to choose from?
So we have noticed that there are several candidates who have expressed interest in running. Of course,
Okay.
until filing opens and
Right.
candidates start bringing the checks in and the filing documents, we can't say. It would just be speculation, but there has been significant interest in the position.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big job for a big and growing community. Let's talk about how much a special election costs. I mean, at the end of the day, this is not an election you're budgeted for or planning on, or do you have sort of some wiggle room in the budget each time just in case something like this develops?
So each year there are contingency funds set aside to cover special elections. It's not included in the budget, but it is something that is planned for, contingent, based upon the election occurring. Then we can request the funds. So yes, it is expensive to conduct a countywide election like the sheriff's primary and the sheriff's special election.
And in terms of the way this is going to work for voters, the candidates are you saying they will be party affiliated? So will we have a primary and then an election after that?
Yes, yes. Sheriff is a partisan office, so filing will be partisan filing. There will be a primary on August 5th. Early voting will open for the primary on July 21st, and that early voting period will extend through August 1st. We will be open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. for those 2 weeks for early voting. The primary, again, to become the nominee for a political party requires winning a majority of the vote. So there is a high likelihood that there will be a primary runoff then on August 19th.
So pretty much people could anticipate potentially voting 3 times for this sheriff's race. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Lots of
Primary,
campaigning and voting to come, as they say. Uh,
there is.
when it comes to the cost, do you know what it's going to cost the taxpayers roughly? I mean, do you have an idea?
So I haven't done the full budget estimates for this special election. I know that generally a countywide, uh, like school board election type election usually runs approximately $100,000. And then a runoff will be about 80% of the cost
Wow.
of the initial primary. So it will probably, by the time it's all said and done, we'll be looking at $200,000 or a little bit more, most likely.
That's a significant sum. Let's talk about how you're going to get the word out. I mean, it feels like everybody knows because it's a big development that has happened. There's been a lot of conversation and news coverage, but what do you have to do as an election office to make sure the word is out that everybody in the county knows that this is happening? Since it's
Well, this is part of it.
untypical.
This is part of it. We're doing it right now, but
Yeah.
we will run a filing notice in the Spartanburg Herald Journal. It will be on our website. It will be posted in our office. We'll share it with the political parties. The election notice will run in early June, notifying voters of the upcoming primary. And then, of course, we will be sharing it with our communications team, getting it on social media, and doing more media interviews just to make people aware of when those voting dates are, when the filing dates are, and when and where they can vote.
And let's talk a little bit about distrust in elections. It's been sort of a theme that's been going on in recent years, unfortunately. What are you doing to reassure people that in this unusual circumstance, the same protocols and care and trust we can place in this election, even though it's unusual?
Right. So first, transparency.
Yeah.
Being transparent and answering questions that the voters have, that the media has, is the biggest part of maintaining that public trust. We have nothing to hide. We do the same process, whether it's a sheriff's special election or an election for the town of Packlet or Central Packlet, one of our municipalities. The processes are the same. We have public events. We will have a public equipment prep for the voting equipment. We hold a public test of the voting equipment 1 week prior to election day. Even though it's not mandated that we do audits for less than statewide office, we still conduct hand count audits on the day after the election before we certify the results to ensure that the equipment counted those votes correctly as verified by the voters who reviewed the ballot before they placed it in the scanner, and then by our teams who hand counted those same ballots.
Let's talk about the manpower it's going to take to pull off this special election. I mean, it is a county-wide election. So what are you having to do in terms of gathering the soldiers, the foot soldiers that make an election happen? And do you need more of them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This election comes during vacation season. Yes, it is the tail end of vacation season, but it comes right before school starts. So I fully anticipate there will be people who normally work with us in November who are out of town traveling with family on vacations. So we need approximately 500 people to conduct the most basic of county-wide elections. And we will need those 500 people probably 3 times, once for the primary, once for the runoff 2 weeks later, and then, of course, for November, when we not only have the sheriff's special election, but also all 14 municipalities and all 7 school districts will be on the ballot.
Right. So more voting to come, everyone. Let's talk about the incentive that there is. There is some pay involved with working the polls, correct?
Yes, absolutely. The state sets the stipend at $60 for completing training and then $75 for working election day. So for working the primary, someone could make $135 as a poll manager. If they work the runoff, they will get another day's election work pay, so another $75. And then in November, that's another training event and election day, so another $135 for working the November special elections and municipal school board general elections.
When it comes to this election, John, and the setup, like you said, with it being near vacation time, is that your greatest concern about, the challenges that you face in carrying this out? Just getting the turnout, getting people aware, and making sure people can get into this process, and if they are going out of town, figure out what to do about absentee voting or early voting, that kind of thing?
Right. It is a significant concern that it is coming around vacation time because so many people will be traveling. We don't want them to miss opportunities to vote early or miss deadlines to request an absentee ballot that they need when they will be out of town. And we are on a compressed timeline with a special election.
Sure.
The primary's August 5th. We only have about 10 weeks until the primary day.
It's hard to believe. It's going to be here before we know it. What's the single most important thing you want voters in the county to know at this point?
I want voters to go ahead and prepare for the polls now. If they're interested in participating, they need to check their voter registration at scvotes.gov, or they can contact our office. Update their address. If they've moved, they definitely need to update their voter registration address. And as a reminder, voter registration is by county in South Carolina. So someone who has come from another county like Greenville will need to register with Spartanburg County and meet the 30-day voter registration deadline. And then
so that's pretty quick, right? That's pretty quick.
That is. The voter registration deadline for August 5th will be July 6th, which the in-person registration deadline for those that want to come into our office to register to vote, that will be 5 p.m. July 3rd because we have a July 4th holiday that weekend.
Right. That's right. So you're bumping up against a lot of challenges, it sounds like. Where can people go when it comes to the most accurate information about this election? Is there going to be like a special sheriff election page or something, or what are you guys creating?
So the official sources of information for voters are, of course, the Spartanburg County Voter Registration and Elections website. That's found under spartanburgcounty.org, or by visiting scvotes.gov for general voter registration questions. Those are the two official sources of information here.
All right. Well, it sounds like and looks to me like there is not a gray hair on your head, but I wonder in the next few weeks if a couple are going to pop up.
There may already be a couple.
Well, you look great, and we appreciate your time. Thanks for helping the voters to be ready to get involved and have their voices heard in the next Spartanburg County Sheriff's race.
You're welcome, Amy. That's what we're here for.
Thank you, sir. All right, now to the things that you cannot miss on 7 News. And these are stories that I see on our website, and I just want to make sure that you guys have a chance to go check them out, because these are the ones you really don't want to miss. All right, so we've got the website pulled up, and I want to show you a couple of important stories that you're going to want to know about. This is our .com, WSPA.com. Always the top news is right there where you want to find it. But the big stories that I think you're going to be interested in, the Senate and House have passed this massive multi-billion-dollar bill, 14.7, almost $15 billion of tax dollars being spent in a variety of ways. This will give you an idea of exactly how that money breaks down, the emphasis that lawmakers have placed on spending this year. So check that out on WSPA.com. Just search South Carolina Senate and House passes the budget. Also, we've got the deeply honored quote from the new sheriff of Spartanburg County. He's been appointed by the governor of South Carolina because of the resignation of Chuck Wright. He said that he had some health issues and resigned. There also are reports of FBI and SLED investigations underway, according to the Attorney General's office. So we are watching what happens with that. But meantime, there is an interim sheriff. His name is Jeffrey Stevens. You can read all about him. He released a statement, and we expect to hear more from him this week or maybe next on his transition into taking over. He's the chief deputy, or was the chief deputy of Cherokee County. So more to learn on that. And then if you like Survivor, and we were following our person who was on there, Dr. Cedric McFadden, they announced the cast for the 50th season, and they did it like they do at the Tribal Council. You can watch Jeff Probst do that on our website. Just check out the Survivor Season 50 story if you'd like to learn more about that. And now let's get to comment of the week. It involves something that you may not have thought of, but I did because I shared video over the weekend of this guy, a famous singer from the 80s, 70s, who sang all the hits. And he did his last show in Philadelphia, and my sisters were there. Check this out. Oh, say it isn't over, Barry Manilow. We love you so much. Lisa Norris says, my very first concert was Barry Manilow at Little John Coliseum at Clemson in the fall '82. He came out wearing the number 66 Clemson jersey, William Perry's number, at that time. So many memories that you guys have shared online. There's just hundreds of comments. Also, we've got Cindy Fortin Stewart saying, love him. He's always been my favorite. I'll cry when he's gone. I got to see him in Greenville in 2000. I was on the second row in the floor section, got great pictures of him. He was awesome. I mean, talk about a super talented guy. Barry Manilow, amazing. So if you want to get in on the comments section, you can scan this code. And this is my websites, all my places where you'll find me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. And join me there, comment, and we'll be looking for your comments next week as we continue the conversation. We've also got something cool going on, BMW Charity Pro-Am. It is that season, and we had the chance to talk to the volunteer coordinator. They really need a few more volunteers, a couple of hundred really, and it's coming up in just 2 weeks, so check it out and learn more. He is helping to corral the volunteers for the BMW Charity Pro-Am. That's kind of a fun job. It's a big challenge, right, to get the ranks filled up. What do you need right now from the community, Crystal?
We just need more volunteers. It literally takes 800 plus volunteers to put on the event. And we are around 650 right now, but we can always use more folks to come out and support.
Absolutely. And what's involved? I know I'm going to share a link so that people can get the QR code and just scan it and go ahead and get the information and the link to connect with you. But what do they need to do? What do they need to expect to do?
So they really get to choose what they would like to do. So there are so many jobs available, so many opportunities, whether they want to be outside in the sun, inside the ropes with the celebrities, the professionals, or they would just like to be in the clubhouse out, not in the sun. So we have an opportunity for everyone. You don't have to know anything about golf.
That's important to know.
Absolutely. You can bring your friends. You get to sign up. You get to decide what days you wish to help out, what times. And it's always great to bring a friend or a family member as well.
So what are the key dates people need to keep in mind to see if they're available?
Perfect. We are looking for folks June 2nd through June 8th, with the actual golfing happening the 5th through the 8th. But we need volunteers all week long. We have a lot of evening activities with Cole Swindell going on in Spartanburg, different golf clinics, and we are looking for volunteers for all of those areas. So really something for everyone.
And talk about the stories you hear from volunteers about their experience. I mean, I've heard people rave about it. I think you get a shirt out of the deal too, don't you, or something?
You do. You get a shirt, a hat. We give you 2 credentials. We feed you while you're here. We have happy hour after you're done with your shift, which is very popular. But we have volunteers that have been with us. This will be our 25th year anniversary that we have been hosting this event. And I'm super excited that some of our volunteers have been with us for 25 years.
Well,
And they have made friends,
Yeah.
and they come back year after year. So it is a fantastic place just to meet people and be involved.
And I believe too, we've had so many people move to this area and they're trying to make those connections and meet new people. And when you said like you can volunteer, so you'll be working with other people, you get to know them. Plus there's these happy hours where you can meet people. It really would be a great way to engage with the community if you're new.
Absolutely. And the great thing is, when you say engaging with the community, we do everything right to donate money to charity. So
Right.
each day that a volunteer works, they get to choose which one of the charities that they would like $20 to go to each day. So you're meeting folks, getting involved, and helping charities right here in the upstate.
Well, we are excited about the tournament being back once again. Lots of good, exciting folks that are coming. Big names like Anthony Anderson, and there's some teen heartthrob. I can't remember his name. I don't know him, but all the young people would know him. But go look at the celebrity list. The link that I'm going to share with you takes you to the volunteer page, but the full website is there as well. So you can go explore all the things, the schedule. If you want to just attend the tournament, of course, they're always looking for more crowds out there to see the celebrities and the golfers and the volunteers. And to thank a volunteer while you're there. Thank the volunteers because they're doing good things for our community. Crystal, we appreciate you telling us about it, and we hope you guys have a great time and a big turnout.
Thank you. We appreciate it, Amy.
And good weather.
Absolutely. We do want good weather.
All right. So if you want to volunteer, there's the QR code once again. And we'll be right back. I've got something really, really good on the way. Stay with Off Air with Amy. And welcome back. We've got something good today. We love to have the good things. And they always happen in the darndest places, don't they? I mean, that's the cool thing about something good happening. I ran into longtime anchor Geoff Hart on the streets of Greenville. I was literally in my car at a stoplight, and this guy on a bike was next to me, and then he looks into my car and he goes, "Hey!" And it was Geoff. So this is the very quick interchange we had. I hadn't seen him. He's had a diagnosis, as you may remember, of early onset Alzheimer's, but he seems to be doing great. He was out riding his bike on his own. He's getting ready for a big event that's coming up where he bikes across the state supporting the Alzheimer's cause, raising money. So I just wanted to give him a little shout out. Check out our interaction. Look at this.
See you. Say hey to everybody.
Yeah, will do.
You're doing great.
Doing.
Love ya.
Okay.
Bye, Geoff.
Okay.
Keep going, buddy.
Hope to see you again.
I hope so too. Bye. Geoff Hart, everybody. There he goes.
And there he goes. He's off and running, biking to the next place. I was just so happy to see him. It lifted my heart. I've been praying for him. I know many of you have. But Geoff and the gang, they do this wonderful event where they go out and bike across the state of South Carolina. And if this is something you want to support, I know he would greatly appreciate you guys making the Ride for Alzheimer's, the Ride to End Alzheimer's, a success. There's the QR code to get in on Geoff's team. He has been a longtime competitor of ours, but a longtime friend as well. He was the sports anchor and the early morning news anchor, and then he got this awful diagnosis, and he is fighting not only to change things for himself, but for everyone. And for that, we have to give honor, credit, and support, because I'm telling you, he is a remarkable man and a good guy. He's one of the good guys, as they say. I'm Amy Wood. We'll get back out on the streets next week to talk to you guys. I'm sorry I didn't get to do that, but we had so many fun things that I ran into Geoff and I thought, I got to do this. We have to talk to Geoff. So we will see you next time. I'm going to leave the Alzheimer's alert out so you can continue to try to support Geoff and his team. And I will see you next week with more Off Air with Amy. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Thousands of people are in the shell. Fell through a house on Mall.
There's something comforting about experience.
Monday, we have breaking news in Greenville County.
It prepares you, makes you wiser, ready for anything. That's why 3 decades later, I still love to keep you informed. Your trust is everything.
Don't miss Amy Wood on 7 News. Weeknights at 4, 5, and 6 p.m.